Alright guys, here she is. 95 BMW M3. It's in rough shape. The old S50 had died, so someone put an M52 B28 swap in it. It was missing real bad when I got it. Went through the coil packs, cleaned them up, tossed some plugs in it, cleaned up some vacuum leaks, and it's running like a top. Idle smooth, rev smooth, drive around the block, feels good. I'm currently diving into draining the coolant. Gonna do water pump, thermostat, coolant flush. Has some oil in the expansion tank. Fingers crossed that's from the previous motor that was in there. I did a compression test. It's 185, 190 on all six. So really hoping that the oil in the tank is just from the previous motor or maybe some cross contamination. Car's on coilovers, E36 lower control arms, bushings have all been redone, brakes are redone. It's not a horrible car. It's got typical quarter panel rust, jack point rust front and rear. Interior has been gutted by the previous owner. They did a shoddy floorboard repair on it, so over the winter I'm going to do floor pans and rocker panel repair. Dash is good. I mean, car's got good bones. Drives good, shifts good. It's going to need new seals. Rear end's been serviced from what I can tell. Locks up pretty good, just driving around the block. Clear coat's all flaking off the roof, the trunk, etc. But I mean, it's an E36 M3. It deserves to be saved. I've got starting to acquire some parts. I've got good fenders that I'm going to try to toss on this weekend. Get it on one color, but I'm going to jump into this and I'll check back in a little bit once I get the coolant flushed and go from there. Talk to you guys later. Alright, little update. Got the radiator, fan shroud all out, expansion tank. Fan was easy peasy to get off with this handy dandy tool that I found on Amazon for 20 bucks. Wish I would have had one of these bad boys back when I worked at BMW. But about to get the water pump and thermostat housing off here, so I'll check back in a little bit later. Alright, so I went ahead and just soaked the water pump and thermostat housing bolts in some PB Blaster for now. Don't want to touch them until that soaks a little bit. I'm worried they might just snap off. While that's soaking, I'm going to go ahead and dive into ripping this fender off here and I'll check back in. Alright, fender's off, easy peasy. And here's one of the problem areas, like on all these old E36s. A bunch of stuff gets stuck up in the drip rails and behind the fender liner and behind the fender, and people don't get in there and clean it out, and they rot out. She gone. So that'll be something I address once I get everything else ironed out. And it's winter time and can't do anything else but wrench on cars. So let's look at the jack point. Yeah, jack point's pretty much gone. Someone trashed the rocker on this car too. It's a shame, but she'll be right as rain with some work. I'm going to get all this cleaned up, and I'll probably go ahead and dive back into the water pump, and then check back in with you guys later. Alright, so I got thermostat housing off, currently getting the water pump off. Just wanted to check in. Usually these seize up pretty good in the housing, so you can just take your thermostat housing bolts and thread them into these little bosses right here, and then you can just walk the pump right off of the block. So I'll check back in after I get this off here. Alright, water pump's out. Looks like it has had a metal pump impeller wheel upgrade at some point. The pump's pretty old though, and it's got a little bit of a bearing noise in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and swap it out anyway since I'm here. Again, you can use these little 10 mil bolts to thread in through the water pump, and it will press the pump right out of the block. So I'm going to get to cleaning all this up, and then check back in after I get the thermostat, water pump, and everything back together, and then go from there. Alright, had to run to the parts store. Thermostat I got this morning wasn't right. Went ahead and got a new thermostat housing while I was there, just because. Thermostat housing, water pump's on, water pump pulley, drive belt. I also found that the alternator was loose, so I went ahead and tightened that up while I was in here. Going to button up a couple of things, and then I'm going to throw the radiator and expansion tank back in, and then start to get the cooling system bled. We'll check in after that. Alright, she's all back together. Got the fluid in there. I'm going to start the bleed process here in a little bit as soon as this thing gets warm. So far so good, no leaks anywhere. Alright, we'll get this bled and check back in. Alright, that's a wrap. Thermostat, water pump are done, coolant flush is done, bled the system, all the air bubbles seem to be out of it. I'll drive it around tomorrow when I have some more time, just to make sure that there's no bubbles lingering, and then move on to the next project on this thing. So until next time.